Where's the gameplay? I'm not doing anything. Hands free, by the way. Hands free, by the way. The game plays itself. Hands free. There's no game here. Hands free. You don't even have to play it. Oh my God. Don't even have to play it. Don't even have to play it. Wow.
Kamusta at magandang gabi? Ako ay si Tito Goby, and tonight we're gonna react to Rev Desu's video. It's titled Industry Shills Finds Out After 10 out of 10 Mixtape Has Completely Failed Despite Their Astroturfing. Alright, let's get to the video. Okay.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So in this video, we're going to be checking in on the surefire game of the year for 2026, Mixtape. This is the most astroturfed game we have seen in quite some time. The entire industry seems to be backing up this project, whether it's games journalists, activists, and shills on social media. They are trying to psyop you and convince you this is a masterpiece of a game. However, no matter how much shilling we see and no matter how many massively positive reviews we see from the industry, you are not convincing gamers this is the masterpiece they want you to believe it is. In fact, we are now seeing those same shills and journalists crashing out, realizing that this game did not take off like they expected. They are realizing how powerless they are to the actual target audience of these studios, which should be gamers, because despite all the astroturfing, right now, Mixtape on its 4th day of release has 1,100 in-game players. And that's because this is nothing more than a 3-hour-long animated slot film. It has less choices, less buttons to press than probably the concurrent player amount you're going to see in about a month when this game completely falls off a cliff.
Okay. From what I understand, Mixtape, it's supposed to be like an 80s or 90s throwback, and they're trying to copy the success of Dispatch. So Dispatch is I guess a visual game also. It has a lot of cutscenes, but in Dispatch, even though it's kind of like a comic book or like how do you, well, yeah, it's much like a comic book where you actually pick what happens. They give you more, let's say, options on which direction to pick or which path to take. And they actually do have puzzles in there that you do have to solve to get to the next cutscene or to the next, I guess, selection or something like that. But for Mixtape, they completely failed on doing that. So that's why there's a lot of backlash. Okay, let's get back to the video.
And that's for good reason. For those who have seen, this is a very unimpressive game. I mean, it's clunky, it's awkward, and it relies on 90s nostalgia bait that doesn't even make sense. Ask anyone who went through the 90s at an appropriate age. This doesn't look like anything they experienced. In fact, this looks like the work of someone who's in their 20s currently, who only knows the 90s through pop culture, movies, what have you. And despite all this...
Okay, yeah, that's an actual symbol, but it does look like a complete circle jerk.
Low numbers and everything. Journalists primarily have been coming together to create a cringe circle around this game, to elevate it and promote it no matter the cost. These scores are absolutely ridiculous. You would think this is a generational level of success. But again, like I said, it's not panning out. They tried so hard to prop up this game and it's just not working. We saw that the other day when I talked about this, and
Oh, okay. I used to buy their magazines when YouTube wasn't a thing yet, right? Or Twitter or any of these social media stuff. And it used to be my go-to magazine for video games. And they scored this as a 9. I wonder. They probably got paid to actually give it the high score since magazines aren't doing too well nowadays.
now we're a few days out since release, and we're basically taking a step back and looking at the Shills who promoted this so
Oh,
hard.
God.
And they're crashing out. They are realizing, like I said, how powerless they really are. Look at the desperate efforts like this. Mixtape has completely exceeded my expectations. It has no right to be this good. Ignore the Twitter buzz. It's genuinely fun. I played an hour. That last part's hilarious. You played basically half the game right there. But anyways, ignore the Twitter buzz. Yeah, ignore what you're seeing with your own eyes. You can literally just watch one of the clips or the compilations from this game and get a pretty good sense that it's garbage. But no, ignore the Twitter buzz and trust the journalists and the shills. And trust people like this who, by the way, if you click on the hidden replies, oh, it is brutal. Yeah, no opinions other than ones that support the OP are welcome here. So you can see these are all manually hidden replies. So like, what do you do in the game? Here's another one saying you might be gay. Here's another one saying this game is not a 10 out of 10. Stop trying to claim it is. So you appreciate slop and garbage. That doesn't surprise me. What are these bots talking about? It's the most brain dead gameplay. There is none.
Okay, so if from what I've seen on the reviews and the actual gameplay already, I actually just watched the whole thing instead of playing the thing. Art-wise, it's okay. Story-wise, it could do better. But there's no gameplay. There's absolutely no gameplay from what I've seen.
It's dying already, has less players than Marathon. Basically, this game's an absolute disaster, and those propping it up, they cannot handle a different opinion about it. In fact, this is how low people are going. If Mixtape was a movie, I wouldn't have been able to have so much fun doing this. I'm glad you're saying if it was a movie. I mean, it literally is a movie. It's a 3-hour long animated film. That's basically it. But you can see the quotes here. You had fun doing this? Yeah, whatever they're doing here doesn't look very fun to me.
You'll probably have fun if you're like high, buzzed, pretending that you're actually playing a game.
Here's another one saying, if that's the most fun thing you've ever done in a video game, you must flip out when you discover a calculator. Yeah, they're getting hit with multiple languages in the quotes dunking on them. That's when you know you have an absolute stinker of a tweet. But here's a totally not self-aware at all post. This user saying, I'm losing my mind with the absolute state of gaming discourse right now. There is literally nothing woke about Mixtape. If you actually look at the game for more than 2 seconds, it's a pure nostalgic love letter to being a teenager skating and the music that shaped us. It's about as universal as a story gets. Do you guys feel like this is a universal story? Do you think everyone in this audience just understands Mixtape? That is a wild claim, but anyways, they continue. But of course, the usual circle of grifters is out there, inventing a complete fantasy narrative just to farm engagement and stir up fake outrage. They aren't even playing the games they're yelling about anymore. They're just lying to your face because rage bait pays the bills. It's exhausting. Stop falling for the grifts and just look at the actual game. I'm begging you.
He's begging. Dude, since you can watch it for free now on YouTube, why pay $20? You know, it's what, 2.5 hours? It's kind of like an animated movie, um, probably a rated B animated movie. I'm not gonna pay $20 for a game that I don't even play.
See, that's the problem. People are looking at the actual game and they're rejecting it because this is boring. It's slop. And blaming the grifters, aka people that disagree with you, is nothing short of copium. Also, what I find very funny is you're correct. There's nothing woke about this game. Nobody's claiming the game itself is woke. The only thing people are claiming is that it's trash and that it's being supported by everyone in the industry. It is astroturfed. That's why people are rejecting it. The games journalists, the shills, the activists, they're shoving this in your face saying it's a masterpiece. And gamers are saying, no, this looks like trash.
You know, at least you have more interaction, I think, with a one of those walking sims, uh, where you just walk around, and I think you just pick up some notes, read this, and then kind of like get a little bit of the lore and stuff like that, and just walk around until you get to the end of the game, and you just get a little bit more lore, and that's it. But there, you're actually controlling the character to walk around at least. Here, some people don't even use the controller. Pretty much, they're just watching the whole thing play by itself. So there's no game in this game. That's why they're calling it trash, and you're paying $20 for it. Yeah, like I said, it might as well be a B-rated animated movie. Um, you can put it on YouTube or any social media, and hope to God that people actually watch it and you get some revenue out of it. But hey, some people are probably getting some revenues by just like recording the game and putting it on social media right now.
Like, no matter how many people, including woke people in the industry, want to shove this game in your face, they're not interested. Gamers are not interested in this at all. And speaking of the nostalgia, people are starting to pick apart the sort of nostalgia on display here. This whole cassette thing right here is really backfiring. People are pointing to a particular scene when they try to rewind a cassette with
Oh
a
God.
pencil, and people are picking it apart, right? They're basically saying this does not actually happen. In fact, we had a VTuber here who is a retro VTuber come through and actually test it out. And great Corona figure in the background. But they try this, it doesn't work. To the surprise of no one, right? It shows that they don't even know what they're doing. They're trying nostalgia bait a time they know nothing about. But people are...
So what they should have done on that scene is turn the tape over, flip it around, and it would probably make some sense when you're rewinding a cassette tape. But I guess they never seen a cassette tape before, and and that's the result. You know, they know how it looks, but they don't know how it works.
furious in the reply, saying, "Who gives a F? Did you know that if you whistle anywhere in the world, your horse won't magically appear behind you?" Oh, of course, a Red Dead Redemption reference there. Yeah, I think people understand that. But also, this game is cashing in on nostalgia and doing it horribly. That is the point. Also, this is an appeal to triviality. They're like, oh yeah, who cares? Okay, so why do you care? Also, like, if if it doesn't matter that much, why didn't they just get it right? I don't understand. If it's really that simple, just get it right. But of course, as pointed out by the VTuber here, they're getting threats against them. Literally just for trying to rewind a Chipmunk Christmas mixtape. Just a Chipmunk Christmas cassette tape. That's it. That's all they did. That's all they did, and they're getting threats. That's absolutely insane, by the way. But Reddit's not happy about this either. Go figure. Never would have seen this coming. So people are making memes saying, OMG, Mixtape is so good. Mixtape gameplay with all the buttons removed. And the gaming circle jerk, known for their complete and utter crash outs, saying, gamers when the game is not military propaganda. Okay? And the comments say, is Mixtape a big enough game to even be getting this backlash? It's 3 hours long. Who cares? This user says, people like to claim they do not care about reviews or games journalists and then hate on a game they did not play just because IGN liked it. I have only ever even heard of Mixtape from chuds complaining about it. So you think people are pathetic for...
You know what, man? If these people like it, yeah, hey, they like it, fine. They pay for it. I'm not gonna pay for it. $20 is $20. That's at least a good meal, you know. Nowadays, if you go to a fast food restaurant, it probably costs you around 15 plus for a burger, fries, and a drink combo. But if you want to waste your money, go right ahead and waste your money.
Are not liking what journalists have to say, but you're getting caught up in what the chuds have to say about it. Like, you're following enough of these people you hate to get sort of a gauging of what this game is all about or what the chuds think. I think that's just another level of pathetic here, and also this whole thing is just copium, right? All of a sudden now it's such a small game that nobody's allowed to care about it. Well,
See, if you actually put some gameplay in there, see that skateboarding scene or the kart scene or the running scene, where they can actually stumble or get hit by a car or something that you do have to avoid and use the controller. Maybe a puzzle here and there. Okay. People will consider it as a game. But you don't do anything on this one. You just watch a 2.5 hour cutscene. Pretty much all you do is just press start. You know? So it's not a game. It's like Rev you said. Rev said, sorry. It's more like a 2.5 hour animated video.
seems like the journalists care a lot about it. They care a lot about it enough to give it a perfect score, a 10 out of 10. That's absolutely insane, but you're not allowed to point out, wow, there seems to be a lot of astroturfing for this game.
Like I said, these journalists now, they're getting paid to give reviews. They're not reviewing for the sake of the players anymore. They're there to make money, to sell you crap games that I guess they spend millions on, and nobody wants to play it. So far, I think let's go to Steam DV. Okay, let's see how many people are currently playing the game. I have Steam DV here somewhere. There it is. Look at Marathon. Let's look at Marathon right now. At peak, it was 88,000. Right now, it's at 8,000. And looks like the charts, it's just going down. Up and down, up and down. So there's still some people playing, but not the numbers that the people expects, you know. They were probably aiming for around 50,000 players at peak. But there's like 24-hour peak at 11,000. There's people playing it, but not as much. Okay, back to Mixtape. There we go. Mixtape. $87. Okay. In game 522. 522 in game right now. Peak hours 1,000. All time peak 2,000. That is not very good for a 10 out of 10 game. Okay.
Tiny game, this insignificant game that's getting the attention of everyone and the most positive reviews you'll ever see. Yeah, I think it's very, very normal as a gamer to go out and start looking at this and being like, what's going on here? Because once you actually look at the gameplay, the quote-unquote gameplay, you realize it's garbage and not deserving of a 10 out of 10. I mean, bringing up IGN, yeah, I think it's valid to say, how are you giving this a 10 out of 10? Especially given the history of IGN basically being the inverse of what you should do. The higher the rating, the worse the game is, right? If you're seeing a 6 or a 7, you might actually be onto something decent. But if you see...
Okay. Let's see. We did a mixtape already. Very low numbers. Dragon Age. Let's see Dragon Age. Is this it? Dragon Age Veilguard. Veilguard was it? Yeah. Okay. Look at that. At peak, it I guess when it came out, 89,000. 24-hour peak, 730. Players right now, 346. Yep. That's 9 out of 10. Let's see what a good game is actually like. There you go. Counter-Strike 2. Playing right now, 622,000. 24-hour peak, 1,276,000. Dota. These are old games, you know. 281,000 current players. 24-hour peak, 581,000. And here you go, Overwatch. With all the, I guess, all the crap that happened to it. It's still holding on to 52,000 or almost 53,000 current players. At peak at 72 or let's say 73,000. So that's I guess a okay game. Warframe, Rainbow Six, Arc Raiders. Yeah, they're around the 50s. You know? those are, I guess, okay games. You'd say probably give them the like a seven, like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. But for those numbers that you saw for Mixtape, that's not a 10 out of 10.
A 9 or a 10 from IGN, you know you're looking at straight garbage. In fact, I have a very strong feeling we'll be talking about this one tomorrow. IGN gave an 8, a great score to Directive 8020, which is going to be another fantastic performance, I'm sure. I'm sure this is going to light the gaming world on fire when it launches officially tomorrow.
There we go.
We'll just have to wait and see on that one, ladies and gentlemen. But overall, the Shills are coping and they're doing everything they can, including doing the all reliable, and that's to deny SteamDB numbers. One of these Shills here saying, I always find it super funny the lengths people will go to try to bring something down a peg when people are enjoying it. From conspiracy theories to SteamDB watching like their gamer cred depends on it. A hilarious waste of time. Well, here's the problem. The SteamDB numbers are atrocious. Like, think about how viral this game is. It's got industry support left and right, and it's getting incredible amounts of attention on social media, and yet it translated to nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I think the SteamDB numbers are reliable. They have shown themselves to be reliable time and time again. But of course, there's one more thing to look at here. The Game Awards. The check cleared, ladies and gentlemen. Mixtape is now available as their post right here. Anytime the Game Awards starts posting about this stuff, you know they had a pretty good payday. And this game wins anything at their award show. I mean, if it wasn't obvious already, you shouldn't care what they think. It'd be abundantly clear after that. But anyways, that's going to do it for the update involving Mixtape. Like I said, we have a lot more to talk about. There's a lot going on in the gaming industry. But if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like. Consider subscribing to the channel, turning on those notifications for daily uploads over here, as well as multiple streams a week on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. First of all, sorry for the hand tracking. I don't know what's going on with my hand tracking. But, yeah. I wouldn't suggest this game. For $20, you're better off just getting lunch or dinner. You know, it has good art. The story's kind of like okay, but it's actually kind of like a good a B-rated animated series. Very much. That's how and they're trying to turn it into a game, but it's not a game because you don't do anything at all. That's why people are mad about this and the industry, because the industry is pushing this to the gamers, and the gamers are saying no. All right, that's it for tonight. Good night.